Is this the best budget on camera monitor in the market? Let's find out. Although I have a flippy screen on my camera, on my Canon 77D, I still prefer using an external monitor to monitor myself and monitor my shots. Simply because it's much more comfortable to monitor myself and monitor my shots with a bigger screen, and also an external monitor provides me features that my camera does not, such as focus peaking, false colors, zebras, and some other features my camera does not have to properly focus and expose my shots. I have the FeelWorld F6 on camera monitor for about 4 months now, and so far I'm pretty satisfied with the quality for the price. I paid for this monitor $110 in Thailand, but if you'll buy this monitor at the moment on Amazon, it's gonna cost you $140. If you want to buy this monitor for yourself, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description for Amazon. Now, before I'm gonna start sharing with you the pros and cons of using this monitor, I just want to mention something. This video is not sponsored by any means. I bought this monitor with my own money, like I said, for $110 in Thailand. So I'm not gonna be biased at all in this review. Now with that being said, let's start with the pros. The first one is the build quality. The build quality of this monitor is actually pretty good for the price. It's built completely out of plastic, but it's the good plastic, not the cheap plastic material that feels pretty solid in the hand. And actually I'm pretty happy that it's built out of plastic because it makes the monitor very, very lightweight. The threads on this monitor are built completely out of metal, which is very good, because if it was plastic, it will probably not last a long time, because you'll probably switch from your tripod, to a monitor mount, to a magic arm, and so on and so forth. So having metal threads is a welcome plus. The buttons on this monitor are built out of plastic, but they feel pretty good, pretty tactile, and I never had any issues with the buttons. So the build quality is actually pretty good. I never had any issues, and I'm actually very satisfied with the build quality for the price. The second thing that I like about this monitor is the display quality. Yes, it's 1080p display, but it's pretty sharp and it's well enough to just monitor yourself and monitor your shots to see if you focused correctly and if you exposed your images correctly. This monitor can take 4K signal from your camera, but it will show you on a 1080p panel. Yes, it's not 4K, but in my personal opinion, you don't really need a 4K display to just monitor yourself, unless you're doing something really, really professional. But if you're doing something like YouTube videos, 1080p panel is more than enough just to monitor yourself and see if you exposed your shots correctly. The third thing that I like about this monitor is actually the price. $140 for a monitor. This is probably the cheapest monitor that you can buy on the market. Just because of the price, I would buy this monitor because it's very, very cheap. The competition starts from like $300 or like $250, maybe even more. So $140 is very, very cheap for a monitor to be able to see yourself, to monitor yourself, to focus properly, to expose the picture properly. So the price is actually a good reason to buy this monitor. Now let's start with the cons of using this monitor. I have some minor issues with this monitor because nothing is perfect, as you know. So let's start with the first one, and that is the swivel arm that came with the monitor, which I actually don't have anymore because it was a nightmare to use this swivel arm. I just threw it to the garbage. So at the moment I'm using a monitor mount that I bought on AliExpress that can do like 360 and also tilt. It can pan and tilt basically, which works much better than the swivel arm that came with the monitor. It was just rattling all the time and you could not pan the monitor if you wanted to. So with the mount that I have at the moment, I can pan my monitor, I can tilt my monitor, and also it is not rattling around when you're just running and gunning with your camera and the monitor. The second thing that I don't like about this monitor is the brightness of the display. For shots like this, when I'm shooting at home in a studio in a closed space, it's perfectly fine. You have enough brightness to expose yourself and to monitor yourself. But if you're gonna shoot outside a lot, this is not enough. I think this monitor has 500 nits, which in my personal opinion is not enough if you're gonna be shooting a lot in sunny, bright situations. For sunny, bright situations, I think you'll need something like 1000 nits minimum. So the 500 nits on this monitor is not enough to film in sunny situations, but luckily for me, most of the time I'm filming at home, so I don't really have an issue with that. The third thing that I don't like about this monitor is not having auto flip feature when you're switching to selfie mode. So let me explain. Let's say, for example, if I'm behind the camera and have the monitor facing my face, and for some reason I want to start vlogging with my camera and with the monitor. So when you're going to flip the monitor towards you, the screen is not going to automatically flip towards you like with a phone or with a tablet or something like this. So you're gonna have to manually press a couple of buttons on the monitor to switch it to selfie mode, which is not a big deal for the price, but it's still very annoying because sometimes I'm shooting behind the camera, then I want to switch to being in front of the camera and I have to press a lot of buttons and fiddle with the monitor, which I don't want. And now for my final two biggest issues with this monitor. The first one is draining the battery when the monitor is off. So if you're going to leave your battery, your NPF battery on the monitor and you're going to switch the monitor off and you're going to have like a red light, it's still going to drain your battery that you have on the monitor, even if you're not using the monitor to monitor yourself. So this is kind of annoying because sometimes I forget my battery in the monitor and just leave it somewhere. And then when I want to use it again, I just see that the monitor completely drained my battery. So this is kind of annoying because I tend to forget my battery a lot in the monitor and then I realize that I don't have battery. And now my biggest issue with this monitor also has to do something with the battery. Let me explain. When you plug in the battery to the monitor, when you just put it in, it snaps so hard that it's very hard to take it off. One time what happened to me, I tried to take out the battery and it was so tight in there, I just applied a strong force to take it out and by mistake I broke one of the metal pieces. Let me show you. You see these metal pieces here? This one in the corner? I just took it out completely and my battery got on fire. Luckily I was outside. I just threw away the battery very fast and I just really panicked and it was very scary because I was scared that my hands will get on fire because of the battery. So let me show you an example. So this is my charger for the NPF batteries. And as you can see, I don't need to apply a lot of force to remove the battery. Just put it in very gently. And as you can hear from the sound that you don't need to apply a lot of force to remove it. Now let me pick up my monitor and show you the difference between this and my monitor. So now I have the battery on the monitor and listen to this. Look how much force I need to apply to remove the battery. Strong it click and look how strong it clicks when I'm putting back the battery in. See? I'm gonna take it out again. I really need to push it very hard to remove the battery. And it's very annoying because like I said, one time my battery got on fire because of it. And here, you can see that it's slowly moving out, this metal piece here. So I have to push it back. You see? This is actually new batteries that I have for this monitor. What I do now, you have a button in here. Maybe you're supposed to press it, I don't know. So now what I'm doing is I'm pressing this button, I'm holding it and gently removing the battery like this. So I would not really recommend to push it very hard like I showed you now, just like this, because it can actually damage your battery and it can get your battery on fire. So yeah, overall this monitor is very good for the price. 1080p quality, great build quality, decent screen size, 5.7 inches, can receive 4K signal, metal threads, good tactile buttons, and overall for the price, this monitor is actually very good for beginner YouTubers and filmmakers like myself. So if you want to purchase this monitor for yourself, I'm going to leave a link down below for Amazon and AliExpress. And I think on AliExpress is actually a little bit cheaper. I think it's like $130 versus $140. So if you want to buy from AliExpress, you can buy from AliExpress this monitor. Anywho, if you're gonna buy this monitor, don't forget to take out the batteries gently out of the monitor so you won't get your battery on fire like I did.